On the defensive line, let's look at free agency. Do you think they try to go, is the plan, do you think, to go more one-year deals, high value, kind of like they did Shelby Harris and Maurice Hurst, maybe even those two exact guys bringing them back? Or do you think they try to find a stud like Christian Wilkins, who was not franchised by the Dolphins? And before you answer, take a look at this. This is from Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network. He's surprised that Wilkins didn't get tagged, and his thought process is, can you imagine pairing Wilkins with either Max Crosby or Myles Garrett? Now, you know who else is probably excited about that thought? Is Jim Schwartz, because Christian Wilkins is the kind of guy that thrives in Jim Schwartz style of defense.
Yeah, you know, when we talk about attacking that one player, to me, Wilkins makes a ton of sense. And I haven't written this yet, and I'm still kind of tossing it around in my head. But I think if I'm constructing the perfect Browns free agent scenario, it's Christian Wilkins, and then you figure it out after, right? And we're going to talk about other positions coming up. But I like that spot. And they spent a bunch of money on Dalvin Tomlinson last year, right? 4 years, $57 million. So they've never shown. I mean, it's coming up on Andrew Berry's 5th year, right? This is 5th offseason. He and Putty Podesta, they've never shown the willingness to spend on 2 defensive tackles, right? But this could be different. And the fact that you said Jim Schwartz, I think, is important because we know how much he relies on that front 4, right? Calls it the engine of the defense. We know how much he rotates those guys, goes 8, 9 deep. And you have to be stout across the entire front. And, they can still bring back Shelby Harris. They could bring back Maurice Hurst II. But they would still be a piece short. And I think if you go get Wilkins and pair him next to Tomlinson, then you're not short at all. And then you're talking about building, perhaps the best defensive line in the league. And I know Jim Schwartz would be, all for that. And I know the Browns believe in building in the trenches. So I don't know how it fits financially. I don't know if they say, hey, we can't spend, what would be, let's call it $15 million a year for Tomlinson and $20 million a year for Wilkins. Maybe that feels that's too much. But I like that idea. I like that thinking, and I like that player.